from INEC, and I also expected more, especially from the security agencies.
Amici, good morning. And it's a sad development, the incident that happened in Ede in Osun State yesterday, and Ovun State in Abeokuta, where INEC offices were attacked by arsonists. Amici, I must tell you that in the past 2.5 years, over 41 INEC offices have been attacked. A few of these across Nigeria. And sadly enough, these attacks are mainly in the southeast, and southwest. We recall that in 2019, you had attack on February 22nd in Olu, Imo State. You had attack in Akwa Ibom, in Obot, Akara, in Akwa Ibom in February 22nd. 23rd February again, you had attack in Imo the same month. In that 2019 alone, you had attack in Isiala, in Mbano, in Imo State. You had attack in Akwa Ibom. You had attack in Imo. You had attack in Bayelsa in 2019 alone. Then in 2020, you had several attacks in Imo, Bayelsa, Lagos, Kota, and Abia and Imo State. And from that time till now, you have had several attacks in Enugu, in Anambra, in Imo again itself. And this one's coming to Osun and Ovun State. Amici, what really is the problem? When we say that CCTV camera is important in government facilities like this, people laugh at us and say, no, we are not right, we are not mature. No. If you had CCTV cameras placed on the streets where these INEC offices are, the police will be able to track what happened. And you train the arsonists and you'll be able to attack, you get them get them arrested. So we keep playing with these kind of things and we keep playing with it. INEC offices attacked, it attacked, okay, INEC is going to pursue budget, supplementary budget.
There's an emergency meeting this morning by INEC to go through that twin attacks yesterday.
So until we find a solution to this, I don't know where we are headed, because election is coming. The ones that happened in 2019, about 10 of them happened in 2019, February, the month of election, and March also. So election is coming now. You're hearing issues of INEC offices being attacked, and by who? Arsonists, gunmen.
Yes.
During the NSAS, we know that about 18 states, 18 INEC offices were attacked during the NSAS. That one is understandable, because we know that persons were fighting for justice, for good governance, and whatever. And they saw
they
saw INEC office.
I don't understand it in any way.
My explanation.
Any attack on any state institution
it's wrong, actually.
It's illegal, a criminal matter, an attack against the state, which must be punished severely.
Those persons saw government facilities as encouraging corruption, or whatever they mean, because they were fighting for good governance.
There are legitimate ways to fight good governance.
It's wrong. We are not supporting it. It's wrong, actually, but we know very well that except government put its feet down to address grievances among the persons, I don't know.
Okay, I said earlier that we all know that as we approach elections, this kind of facilities come under attack. INEC was telling us that they have deployed their bimodal voter accreditation system device to 29 states of the Federation, hoping to ramp it up to the states, including Abuja, in the run-up to the election. Common sense will tell you that you needed to increase security surveillance around these facilities.
Morning again, Amici, and good morning to our listener. Abulu was giving us information about these attacks, and what we have is about 47 attacks on facilities since February 2019. Like you said, when it's coming close to the election period, we should expect, things like this, and we should also prepare. It's more like pre, during, and even after. But a meeting has been convened this morning, but there are certain questions that have been asked as to what, this election security committee has been, discussing. Because these are the kind of things, that should have been put forward even before now, so that when we have situations like this, at least we'll be able to mitigate. What we heard is that it was bread bomb that was used, that bread being soaked in some petrol, and then that was what, because there are pictures of the the remaining some of the burnt bread and the petrol.
These are not the official accounts.
Petrol bomb buried in bread.
Yeah.
these are eyewitness account. The police has started investigation and is yet to brief us on every other issue.
Well, we can see the bread there. Well, that's another issue. However, Amechi, there's an aspect of these the PVCs that have been burnt, Amechi.
About 66,000 uncollected in Abeokuta.
Yes. So the question now is 65,699 PVCs. The question now is these persons, that have gone through the process completely, waiting to, the whole, everybody's eyes, those who want to vote, who know that, yes, I don't have any issue with my PVC, just go and pick it up. What is their fate, Amechi? That's the next question. Is it that they have been automatically disenfranchised? Will INEC have to print new PVCs, for these persons? Because you have those who started the process, because they didn't meet the timeline, they were not allowed because of, timing. But these persons have, completed, and we're just waiting to pick up. Now you have the data. So if you have the data, maybe we'll be able to track those persons who have not picked it up. Or what becomes of these persons? That's a question that many persons are asking, Amechi.
Ordinarily in sane society, apologies to Nigerian institutions, such things usually have backup. And we believe there is a backup of all registered voters in Nigeria.
Maybe if backup, but you can reprint if need be.
Good. So if those permanent voters cards have been destroyed, I'm sure if INEC have the record, how we are in Nigeria, Michi. Those cards might just be dumped there without proper recording of the names.
Maybe they have, but one thing we can take out from this is the security of the country, as it were. This is Abeokuta state capital. All the other instances, I didn't know or read how many people were arrested after investigation, whether the security agencies were able to track, arrest, prosecute, and punish. I've not read much on that aspect. What we see is that they willfully attack, succeed in setting the buildings ablaze, destroying equipment, and move away. They dissolve into the thin air, as it were. We need to ask ourselves a lot of questions. We speak of ungoverned territories in Nigeria. There are loads of territories, sometimes up to kilometers you go to. There is no security presence. Anybody in this place can turn themselves into the security and reign supreme. And that is what we have and we are saying when we talk of ungoverned spaces. The Nigerian state has been unable to effectively take charge of this territory in such a way that the state continues to enjoy monopoly over the use of arms. There are more arms in the hands of non-state actors than those that are controlled by state actors. So it gives you an indication of where we are as a nation. Last week, or 2 weeks ago in Abuja here, I went to queue up to buy fuel at a petrol station. At the heart of Abuja, opposite the Transcorp Hilton, where is more prime in Abuja than opposite Transcorp Hotel? The filling station that I queued for hours. And when I was getting towards the entrance, I discovered how thugs, urchins, miscreants had taken over. They decide who enters and who doesn't enter. There's a separate line for those that want to shun the line, as it were, using local parlance, and pay to them, and they operate the doors for you, the gates for you, and it is replicated. It is replicated in several filling stations, not just in Abuja, but across Nigeria. And every other, be it motor park, every other state institution, you see urchins, touts, miscreants take over, and it becomes their rule, and nobody challenges them. There are no security agents to displace them and disperse them, so they reign supreme. So if it can happen in Abuja, you can imagine what is happening elsewhere. All these assassins, these criminals, easily target institutions successfully and get away. We need to redesign our security architecture. We need to tell ourselves the truth. And for the instance, that opposite Transcorp Hilton Hotel filling station, the big visitors to Abuja lodged there. And when they are assessing or leaving the place, what they see is chaos. And it depict the situation in Nigeria, and we fold our hands, unable to take charge. to take charge of a city and to take charge of a country.
Amici, the news we're hearing since yesterday, this morning, that Nnamdi Kanu said he didn't order any group to commit anything in the southeast, and all this sit at home on Monday is not from his directive, and that is a good one. And I encourage the security agencies to take that message from one of his lawyers, I think, very seriously. And we need peace in Nigeria as we approach 2023 election. I mentioned you have said it all. The IGP was at a briefing yesterday at the Villa, and he said he will not withdraw personal security attached to VIPs, but they will make sure they provide enough security to man the polling units and wherever they need to man during the elections. That is encouraging, but some will ask, if you are not withdrawing policemen attached to VVIP, how many are you attaching to a particular VIP? You go around, you see some VIPs having like 2, 3, 4, 5 policemen. I know that an Inspector General of Police at retirement has a number of attached police officers to him. I know that a minister has a number of attached policemen to him. The PAMSEC too has. The DG of an institution has. Who the other big men? What qualifies this?
Abul, you can get your own, and you know the process of getting.
Yes, but
if you can afford it.
Yes, I'm not disputing the fact that VIPs need security, but how many are you giving them? And do you have enough men? We said here the other day, Nigeria has about roughly 400,000 policemen. Is that number enough to police the country? Over 200 million? So as we approach this, we encourage the security to have more strategies to ensure that security is sustained in Nigeria and people go to vote with peace of mind.
And still on the police, the Inspector General of Police, Amici, came out to say on Thursday that the issue in Maiduguri will be investigated. He spoke at the
attack on the PDP
presidential campaign. Yes.
You know, the police public relation officer in Maiduguri dismissed the attack.
It's called it fake news.
Now, perhaps by instinct, the first reaction. So which one is the fake news now? The Inspector General said it is not a reflection of, so somewhat indicting the PPRO, who was quick to reach that conclusion. But it's gratifying to know that what the Inspector General of Police said, investigation has been launched, because there are pictures, there are videos clearly showing attacks. And if we must approach this election, I hope it becomes violence-free and credible. The issues such as this must be nipped in the bud. A lot of memes we are going to be sharing now dwelt on it. So stay with us as we go on this commercial break.
Registration into SS1. What is the money used for at the expense of the parents? And that concludes the mail segment for today. Keep sending in your letters with your name and your location to politicalplatform@freepower.fm.
Abul, you want to react to that?
Well, we have 9 years of education from primary school to junior secondary school, and it's assumed that if a child finishes from GSS3, if he wants to continue, he can go ahead. If he doesn't want to continue, it's like a first something living school certificate.
First school living.
Like girls that are married out at the age of 14, 15, 16, thereabout, they finish junior secondary school at that time. They have something to hold on to say yes, they've graduated, and you can transfer to another school with that certificate from junior secondary school. I don't think it's much of a problem. NECO organizes junior work, but WAEC does not organize junior school certificate in Nigeria, but they do that in some West African countries.
But you register for GSS.
You register for GSS.
That's what they write.
It shows that you are crossing to a senior class.
And this registration, you part with money.
You pay a certain amount of money. If you are writing junior, that's NECO, GSSCE, as the case as it
and first 13 years is supposed to be free.
Yeah, it's supposed to be free education.
Free and compulsory. But all this registration, that's what our listeners are raising.
Free education, the children still pay PTA. PTA is not part of free education. They still pay development levy. What they don't pay is tuition in public schools. That is why it's called free. But some other things that the school will need.
Who manages the PTA funds?
Parents Teachers Association. They
Yeah,
come
what's the
together.
money used for?
In some schools, like Unity schools, PTA have auxiliary teachers who they sponsor to support the teaching strength.
So it's no longer free if you are to make a payment. Hizoje, the federal FCT High Court in Abuja has vacated the commuter to prison sentence on EFCC chairman because EFCC quickly rushed in some documents indicating that indeed the Range Rover has been released and the process of refund of the 40 million is been initiated but not concluded. And the judge said, okay, based on this evidence, I'm vacating that ruling.
Well, it's a good development if we listen to what our analyst said here on the program about that decision, but in compliance with the 2018 order to release the Range Rover and like the process to return the 14 million naira being on, well, the EFCC chair is now free, and it's not what Maxwell Okpara. So Maxwell Okpara, the EFCC chairman, is free. It's free now. I think another thing that we need to take note of on a more serious note is that we don't have to wait to get to this level where the court has to use its power and in a way kind of try to. The office of the EFCC chair is one because of the kind of job that they are doing and the rule of law, the issues around. You're also fighting, so you should be able to ensure that at all times you do what you need to do. If anybody is at fault, you go after the person. Ensure that if the 40 million needs to be kept for any reason, it should be kept. If God says this man is, you need to release it to them, you release it. There are other cases, Amechi, that will likely come up. What happens most times is that Nigerians or people who have cases sometimes are energized when we see incidents, that tries to say, okay, there's still hope. And one of the things I'm also looking at is beyond this issue of asset seizure. You may likely see some persons, in the case of what we spoke about earlier with this fire incident in the INEC offices, some Nigerians may take INEC to court if those PVCs are not provided. That's what.
Okay, let's.
Yeah, because you are disenfranchising me.
Okay, on that EFCC matter, the judgment was in 2018. And in 2022, we are still talking of, we are in the process of effecting that judgment. That's how many years?
4 years.
Now, one of our listeners talked about an asset management, a commission to manage whatever asset that is seized. Now,
we already have
the Range Rover was seized prior to, perhaps before 2018 that the judgment came, maybe years even before 2018, and it was released this year. How many years?
The value.
What's the value? What's the state of that Range Rover? After many years, would you honestly want to drive it? And the 40 million, what will he be getting back? He never born, even at hen, he go for unborn. Will he get the interest? Where did the EFCC keep the money? Was it in their account? Is it interest yielding? If you not go to the nearest police station around you, see assets rotting away. Look at EFCC, ICPC facilities, you see assets rotting away. Many of them are not accounted for. We have seen almost every other EFCC chairman is accused of racketeering in terms of seized assets. So if that is the case, it tells us that we need to reform the way and manner they manage seized assets, whether temporary for future or permanent for future.
I think we need to address this. There was a time that the office of the Attorney General, Minister of Justice, noted that there were assets offices or asset departments in this anti-corruption, but they were moved, or there was a move to bring them under the office of the Attorney General.
And that office was also accused of
for looting
and selling it, underpricing, undervaluation. So it becomes a racket for everybody that has one role or the other to do with it.
But I think the EFCC has a lot of explanation to do. I, for example, for one, I would like to know if EFCC has a security vote and if they have miscellaneous vote during their budget, and I would like to know where they are pulling out the 40 million naira from, Is it money seized from the man that was kept? If you have 40 million naira in a bank for 4 years, to appreciate and to have interest on it, we want to know where they are getting them. They need to come and explain to us. And also, I think we need legal perspective to this. Which way forward? You know, our friend Okpara, the lawyer, said the EFCC chairman is a what? There was a word he used that is ex-convict. Good. Maybe we will need to invite Maxwell Okpara to come and tell us the way forward. But
no, the matter has been rested. It's vacated.
In all, what we are saying is that institutions in Nigeria have to be careful.
That's the lesson.
Yes, there is an issue with the Nigerian Institute of Trypanosomes yesterday at the Senate, where you have two persons dragging to be DG. When they came for budget defense, the 2 persons came to defend the budget. It's so embarrassing that we go to the public space as Nigerians and embarrass ourselves. So the Minister of Science and Technology
accused the Accountant General
yes, for
corruption.
Exactly. So you see how we embarrass ourselves. So children are watching. And you have young adults watching.
Okay.
And you see how your parents are embarrassing the country.
Well,
it's sad.
I bet you a little bit of politics. The presidential candidate of the PDP says he's open for reconciliatory moves
with the G5 governors.
The G5 governors. That's something that many Nigerians. I listened to the governor of Rivers State say that if the G5 joins, the campaigns, they will know that campaigns are good. So we also hope that the issue, because even what has happened in Maiduguri, they are pointing fingers that because of internal issues. But so many people are saying it has happened in other states that are APC controlled and APC.
And it's across board.
Yes,
and there's no party that has not been a victim of violence. But as we close now, the message for government and public institutions is you must obey the law. It reinforces our position here that any judgment, any ruling, in fact, any judicial pronouncement, even from a crazy drunk judge,